What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our NFL Week 15 Thursday Night Football Recap Podcast. And we're going to start off with Todd Gurley II telling the fan to pull up after he's been addressed by his horrific play with fantasy football. Now, if you guys are in the playoffs, you guys all know that these are the most critical times that you need guys to step up. Usually you pick a guy that they still have something to play for, which in my opinion, the Rams, they're a hot mess. I don't think they really had much to play for, but you would think that they would try to come out with a new head coach after Jeff Fisher was finally fired. You get this guy Fossil, who's the son of another Fossil, who they look like fossils. What is wrong with that guy? I don't think that guy has eaten in years. He looked like something off of The Walking Dead. What was it, John Fossil? And his father is Jim? He just really, really looked bad, like he was dying on the field. I don't think that he should be the face of the Rams. He should probably stay as the special teams coach or whatever, but he can't be the guy that walks around the sideline because he was just way too excited. I don't know what was wrong with him, but it was a joke. But this is where we are right now. Todd Gurley got stood up and stuffed, okay? It was a very... It was like, a fourth down, 4th and inches, and Bobby Wagner just stood him up. And, Todd Gurley's a big back. He's supposed to be a power back. He's supposed to get those yards. Now, the Seahawks outright destroyed them defensively. It was like a sack party. Bennett ended up getting injured with his neck after that crazy celebration that he did when he was just like pumping mad hard. I don't know if you guys seen those wild gyrations, and the ref was like, all right, enough. And they had penalties, and then eventually a play after that, Bennett was hurt. But they were sacking Jared Goff so many times, bro. And I'm here to tell you that I was trying to give Jared Goff a pass, but he may actually be the worst thing since Jamarcus Russell. The dude missed so many open passes. I know a couple receivers dropped some open passes, but he missed passes that were right in front of him. That's not a good look if you're looking for the future. Now, can he grow? Possibly. I saw some things that were good, but overall, when it was like simple throws, he couldn't make them. I know a lot of people were saying while I was watching the game, look at the pressure. But sometimes there was no pressure. Sometimes, it was quick releases. He was throwing the ball short. He was throwing it over. He was throwing it out of bounds. I'm not sure what would have happened if, Jeff Fisher would have had him starting since the beginning of the season. But I was trying to give him some leeway. I'm going to steal. You know what it is? Because I look at all these other guys, all these other rookies, the Dak Prescotts, you know what I'm saying? The Philly QB, Carson Wentz. I look at these guys and I can see talent. I don't really see any talent in Jared Goff. And, it seems early to say it, but it's like, come on, you have to be able to make some simple throws. And that's what I was looking for. Todd Gurley, look, I don't know what he's doing. Does he still have what it takes to be a top back in the NFL? Yes, I do believe that. But I think his focus is on the wrong things. Like, you're worried about this guy, saying whatever. And I know it's probably like a joke to pull up because obviously it's the internet. And, a guy is saying, when he sees him, he's going to fight him or whatever like that. But his focus shouldn't be on that. I think Herm Edwards might have to step in on that and try to help him to understand that even though you're playing around and it's a joke, you got to really get focused on what you're supposed to be doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have fun with other stuff, like joking around with people within your camp, stuff like that. But don't joke around with people on social media when you're outright getting whipped and savagely beaten down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is a team in the Rams that have, I think they won 3 straight against the Seahawks. Defensively, they're a great team. Right now, well, I can't say defensively. Aaron Donald's probably the only guy on the team that's really stepping up and handling his business. Other than that, it's not a lot of stuff going on with the Rams right now. Jared Goff, bro, this dude was a potato. Like, the dude was just really getting sacked every play. It was very, very hard to watch because, watching, John Fossil, like, that's the only thing that really resonates with me because I watch a lot of The Walking Dead. So whenever I see, like, the walkers, whenever I see a human being that looks like a walker, it kind of like, what the hell's he doing there? Like, he looked like a walker. Like, he's been dead for like 6 weeks. He's running around doing whatever he wants on the sideline. I guess he's trying to be energetic for the owner to make it look like, all right, this guy is ready to go. He's the guy for the future. He's not. You can't have a coach that looks like that, like he's dead on the sideline, because it kind of like, it's like he's sucking out the player's energy to get himself life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it starts to become more than just the game and the players being garbage overall. But the good news for Russell Wilson, he bounced back after having a 5 interception game. That is huge for the Seahawks. If he plays like this and defensively they're able to to do this. Like, they have to be, in order for the Seahawks to do anything, they have to be able to play defense like this. Now, I know Earl Thomas, what is it, broken leg, he's out for the season, whatever. Defensively, they can still stay with any team, I believe, in the NFL, but they have to be ready for it. Speed-wise, the intelligence of Sheed and Sherman. And like I said, Sheed is kind of underrated. I think playing on the other side of Sherman, you have to have a guy that can consistently make plays. And he's been secretly making a lot of plays throughout the season. So I think the Seahawks, even though they were blown out by the Packers and things like that, games like that happen. It's about how you bounce back. I think that they can make noise. I think they can make some noise in the playoffs. I think that when they get there, you know, now that they've won the division because the Rams so gracefully laid down and bent over, I think that they can actually do something. Because I don't think you want to play the Seahawks regardless of the team that you are, because you don't know what Seahawk team you're going to get. Are you going to get a 5-pick Russell Wilson? Are you going to get a Russell Wilson that threw a 70-yard pass to Tyler Lockett after he saw the coverage with the, I don't know, was that like a fake cover 2, or the safety that rotate over to the wrong way, like he moved to the left a little bit? Russell Wilson immediately saw the read and threw it through a hot dot to the right side. When he's playing like that, they're a very difficult team to beat, because it all starts with the defense first, I believe, and then if Russell Wilson could just feed off that defense and put points on the board, it's very, very hard for you to now come back and think you're going to just score on the Seahawks, regardless of who's there. You know, like I said, Earl Thomas makes up a big part of that defense, the Legion of Boom, whatever it is, but I think Cam Chancellor is a little bit more important. That's just my opinion, because I just think that overall, he's like that leader that they need out there, and they go as he goes. And, you know, Richard Sherman's going to talk his trash, do what he has to do, and he performs well also. But people were asking me, what do I think about them going forward? Do I think they have a shot to make noise in the playoffs? And I do. I really do think, because the Cowboys are, 11-2 or something like that. They lost to the Giants. We all know what the Giants do. The Giants always beat teams that they're not supposed to be beating, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys twice. They're the only losses that the Dallas Cowboys have. First, Jerry Jones said that they were going to be, you know, they're with Dak Prescott, whatever like that. Then he kind of said something that made it seem like they opened the door for Tony Romo. Dallas is probably going to do whatever they have to do to F up whatever they're doing. Somehow, some way it's going to happen. So looking at the NFC, the Seahawks, I trust the Seahawks more than I trust the Giants. And it's very obvious why. I just think that Eli Manning's going to close his eyes and throw the ball up in the air and not care about anything that happens afterwards. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about Eli Manning, but I'm from New York, and this guy is a savage. You know, nobody knows really what to think about him. Like, he's won 2 Super Bowls, but most people, when you talk about Eli, they consider him the luckiest man ever in the universe. So I don't really know where we could go with that, but the bottom line is, if there was anybody out of the NFC to take, if I'm a betting man right now, which I am, I would have to bet that the Seahawks would make it the furthest, that the Seahawks would make it to the Super Bowl, because every other team, it's too much cracks in the armor and it's too many things that can happen. But even if one side doesn't play well, like defensively or offensively, with the Seahawks, you still have a shot. Like, the team is always going to be in games. Obviously, they're missing Marshawn Lynch, but they got a baby Marshawn Lynch in Thomas Rawls, and I think he runs just as hard. He's just not as strong and built like a Marshawn Lynch. He doesn't have the same effect overall yet, but I think he's still growing. I like the way that they're hitting that niche right before the playoffs. They're like going right there, right before the playoffs. That's huge for me. If you guys watch a lot of football like I do, you know that it's better to turn it up and peak right around this time going into the playoffs than rather than do it early like the Minnesota Vikings and all those other teams that now they suck. But Todd Gurley, bro, you might want to stay off social media for a little bit and just start focusing, man. And I'm not trying to be a hater, dog. I know you probably was like, yo, this dude right here is a clown. And he probably is a clown. And he's probably just trying to look for attention, but don't give it to him. Focus on what you got to do. Make yourself the best running back, because you showed some crazy glimpses of what you could really do last year. And I know you have to be disappointed overall in your season. So, you know, if somehow, some way you get to listen to this recap, you know, just focus on yourself, because you've shown that you could be a top running back in this league. Just do it. Just do it. Close everything out, man, and do it. I know that your O-line sucks. Your coach looks like a Walking Dead character, but I think that with enough, you know, focus with you, I think you could be the best running back in the league come next year. I'll see you guys later. One love.